Welcome to Evercade Podcast, episode 64. Today's coming up in today's show. What are we all playing? Obviously, we'll be talking about the Rare Collection 1 cart preview. Don't forget what will be the next highlight of the month. We are 11 days in and we still don't actually know what is coming. 8 months in, what do you think the cart of the year is so far, including what has been announced? Don't forget that dodgy Facebook poll I did earlier. That'll be coming up. Oh, and don't forget, Dear Derek, all that is coming in episode 64 of the Evercade Podcast. So all that's left to do is run VT.
Player 1. Time. Player 2. Level 1.
Hello and welcome to Evercade Podcast, episode 64. I am Blunners, as you all know. Let's have a look at who we've got with us. So we've got Triangle Face Tim.
Good evening.
Oh, he seems to have... There you go.
Can you hear me?
We've got Andy C joining us. Yeah.
Hello.
And also the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Top and Hat.
Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Really good. So let's have a quick look through the chat before we start. So Tim, you can do the honours for me tonight.
Of course,
So
yeah.
we've got Mr. Nicholas Skippins, as usual. Nice to see you. Dave Newland Music. Really looking forward to this. Here's the man when it comes to our stuff, though. Timothy Earnshaw, nice to see you. Chris Dunham, evening all. Vernon Couchman, he remembered this week. He's put that in Facebook earlier. Dominic Bradbury, Nick C. And it was all Ryan. Ryan's in the chat as well. So,
R.I.P.
yeah, R.I.P. Ryan, yeah. So, right, let's get into our first topic. And it is, what have you been playing? So we'll start with you, Tim. What have you been playing?
To be honest, I've not really been playing much of anything because I've just got back from a holiday. So I've been on holiday with the family. So I've not really been playing on anything other than playing in an arcade. So I've been playing on like the 2p machines, if that counts. So that's the closest thing to game I've already done this week is playing on the old 2p machines. But I found quite a good Pac-Man one where every so often it would do like the Pac-Man thing would spin and you'd get like either a cherry or a ghost or a bell or something. And on the back had lit up. And if you had, once you got 3 of a certain icon, it would then spit out loads of tickets. So what I was doing is I was ignoring what prizes were stacked up at the top of the coins and going for the ones where there was like a jackpot where it already had 2 ghosts, because ghosts was like 800 tickets. Oh. So that one's got 2 ghosts already. So I'll play on that until the 3rd ghost comes up and get a jackpot. And I kind of like followed the ghosts around and try and get some more tickets. And if you get a duffel bag full of like thousands and thousands of tickets, you might get like a key ring and a Mao-Wam. So I was like, yes, yeah. Got a small pack of small. So
yeah, Tim put in the chat that about that, and as he done that, I was actually at an arcade with my daughter, so I literally done a video and go, oh yeah, look, I'm getting rinsed as well. So that's just part of the holiday fun, mate. So Andy C, what have you been playing?
Do you know what? I've been playing a lot of point and click since they introduced the mouse control on Evercade. I've been kind of looking at what might be possible on Evercade. So I kind of dug out a load of CD-ROMs that I had from years ago, and I'm working my way through them. So there's one game in particular I was playing called Toonstruck. I don't know if you've ever heard of Toonstruck, but it's like, do you know the movie Cool World? Years and years ago with Brad Pitt, and it was a mixture of movie and cartoon. Toonstruck is very similar. Christopher Lloyd plays the main part in it. guy who was Doc Brown in Back to the Future. And Dan Castanella, who plays Homer Simpson, is in it. And it's a really, really good game, and it's aged really well. So it was like kind of mid-90s, and it has aged fantastically over the years. So I was playing that. And then I've been kind of traveling a lot around the country. So as far as Evercade, I've been playing games that I can kind of dip into for literally 10, 15, 20 minutes and just have a quick game. So I'm still useless at Tanzer, but I'm doing my best. So I've been dipping into Tanzer, and I'm trying my best to finish the Broken Sword collection. So I'm about halfway through the second game at this stage. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice one. What about you, Derek? What have you been playing?
I've been back on Team 17 collection. Excellent idea. If you've got an Evercade Alpha, is go and try out Body Blows on it. The joystick, I think, makes all the difference. I've certainly been having a lot more fun than I was on the Joypad. I don't know if it just didn't bring back the nostalgia of the Amiga or what it was, but yeah, it didn't gel like it used to. But since I've been trying on the joystick and I've been getting back with a couple of the old characters I used to use regularly, I've been having a lot more fun. So yeah, for myself, that's been one of the big ones this week. As I say, I love testing games on the Evercade Alpha. There was a great person actually in the Facebook Hangout that I noticed was trying their Atari Lynx games on there, and they seem to be having quite a good time. So that's maybe a little project I'll start next week and have a bit of a tinkle on there. Listening to Andy there, of course, he mentioned Cruel World. That was a brilliant game years ago on the Amiga and the Commodore 64. Did some fairly good ports of the movie. So that's maybe something people want to check out at home if you've got an emulator.
Yeah, brilliant. So what I've been playing, I've played a bit of Windjammers. I still find it right hard as nails though. It's doing it does my head in. You have to like try and get the balance right. I can win like the first round, get to the second one, just get my backside handed to me. Karnov is ridiculously hard, like to the point where I just think, I just can't. I need some like dip switches or something because it's doing my nut. But and also I've been playing a bit of the games that were coming on the rare cart, so we'll speak about that in a minute. I've been looking them up. I was like recording some stuff on it, and then I just thought, no, I'm going to wait until I actually get this cart in September, which isn't far away. But yeah, I mean November. Sorry, it comes out. But yeah. So it was main ones playing is Windjammers. I don't know if you guys have played it. Have anyone here played it?
Windjammers. Yeah, I've played it like in the arcade when it used to be in a local arcade near me. And I think I've got it. I think it's on my arcade cabinet that I've brought up before. It's on there, so it's quite good as a 2-player.
What character are you though? What are characters, everyone? What country are you?
I don't know. Just pick a random one.
Random.
Yeah.
I'm always the American because I mean American made. It's got to be an American game, isn't it? I mean,
I find it really frustrating. It's just the accuracy you need with the D-pad.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And it's like you need to predict where this disc is going to be, and you're always just slightly out. And
or it's actually you think I've got him nailed on it, and then they like somehow recover, like make this ridiculous Schmeichel-esque save and throw it back, and you just think, how? There's no way you would have never made that. Like, so I do get frustrated with it. But that's what I've been playing this week. So it brings me into this Rare Collection 1 cart. I live streamed it. It went live at 6:00. I'm here refreshing. You can go back and watch it but then I couldn't stop swearing. I could not believe what the hell had just been announced. Like for me, Rare, massive company growing up. Do you know what I mean? It's like Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, all that kind of stuff. It was fantastic. I'm so glad it's coming. And also we found some little extra bits out because obviously Sean jumped in the chat as well. I'm saying about this being a double sleeved with no number on the other side because that was asked as well. So is it numbered on the other side of it, which it isn't. So Rare Collection 1. We'll go around the table. What are you guys thinking? We'll start with you this time, Andy. What are you
I
thinking
think
of Rare Collection 1?
anyone my age kind of grew up playing rare games, so it's a very welcome that this is coming out. 12 games. I think it's significant that 6 of them are Spectrum. So people have been crying out for Spectrum games for a long time on Evercade, and finally we're getting it's not a Spectrum collection, but it definitely sets a precedent that we could potentially get more Spectrum games in the future. I think it's probably set another precedent in that there's 2 versions of the one game on that cart. So many people up to now have been you either get a Mega Drive version of a game or an Amiga version or a SNES version or whatever other version. Whereas now we're getting Battletoads. I think it's the arcade version, and the other version is for... What's the other version for?
Probably the Mega Drive.
The NES.
Mega Drive,
And-
NES.
No, NES.
NES and the yeah.
So we're getting 2 versions. So I think it maybe puts some hope towards getting a proper version of Xenon 2 or the Chaos Engine or some of those Bitmap Brother games in the future, because we weren't exactly treated to the best versions of them. But yeah, Rare, it's a massive development. It's a massive name to get into the Evercade ecosystem, and I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it's November it's out, so it's a long wait till we get our hands on it. I have most of them already on the Rare Replay for Xbox. I think Xbox One, and I remember buying that in Smith's for about €5, so it was a steal at the time. And then shortly after that, Microsoft ran a live stream showcase, and if you logged into the live stream showcase, you got a free collection of the Rare Replay on Xbox One. So all of these games, I think, are on that, plus some more. I think there was 30 games on the Rare Replay. So we're getting 12 of them here. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we'll go to you, Tim. What were you thinking when you saw this?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Battletoads. So I had the Mega Drive version of Battletoads. So I don't know how that compares to the NES version. I'd imagine the NES version isn't as sharp as the Mega Drive one, but it's brilliant. Like, it's hard though; it's a hard game. So you're gonna need your save states on that one. That's really cool. I've played a little bit of Battletoads Arcade as well. So really pleased to see them both come to the Evercade. So I think Battletoads are brilliant games. And another favourite of mine is Cobra Triangle, because I've got that on the NES. And that's really good fun, actually. So if anyone's not played Cobra Triangle, it's definitely worth checking that one out, because that is a lot more fun than you might think at first glance. It's a bit random. It's a really random game. It's just like going around with this boat. Each level's slightly different. So you might have one which like yeah. Some levels it's like a race. Some levels you're trying to like move bombs into a safe zone. Some levels you like shooting at stuff. It's like a scrolling shooter. Like I said, mixed with like a bit Micro Machines-esque type mechanics. Yeah, just every level is a little bit quirky and different, and it keeps on throwing something new at you. So yeah, really good selection. I think I've not played a lot of the older ones. I think I've played like Jetpack. I've not played, because I never had a Spectrum, so I've not played any of the Spectrum games on there. But I think for me, the appeal would be sort of the later games. Like, I've not played Conker's Pocket Tale either, and that looks like it's a bit of a laugh as well. So yeah, good. It's nice to see a range like this, actually, because normally when we have seen those older carts with the sort of the likes of Intellivision or Atari and things like that, it's just games of that ilk. And for people that have grown up playing those games, I think it's a big win. But for someone like me who looks at those games and think, oh, that's maybe a bit before my time, I'm not really that excited by them. But to then include in that cart things like Battletoads and Cobra Triangle and Conkers, it's appealing to more people on one cart rather than being a bit niche. So I think it's a good move. Yeah, no, I think it's a good selection.
Derek, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is something, again, people have been asking for a very long time in a Rare collection. I think it's a nicely created collection. I think even though my generation remember the earlier games, they're ones which younger people haven't explored yet and might be able to find some of the magic we did back then. I mean, games like Jetpack were very big years ago. In fact, it was one of the first games released for the 16K version of the computer for the Spectrum. I also had, I saw somebody mention in the comments there about the Commodore 16+4. I had a very similar game as well at the time called Dingbat, which was on there. So hopefully that person will remember that one. But the likes of Lunar Jetman again. Basically, there was an amazing hoax back then. If people remember Crash Magazine, there was an amazing, there was a kid sent in a photograph of the Lunar pulling a trailer. And nobody could debunk it. And at the time, they actually went to the Stamper brothers that developed the game and said to them, did you include this trailer or not? And they wouldn't confirm or deny it at the time. So it's still to this day a bit of an elusive rumor stroke hoax. But yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic thing. So yeah, if Evercade fans can find that trailer, then we definitely want to see a picture. I mean, Attic Attack, again, was a massive game back then. It had a really large labyrinth castle. And I remember having to go around and collect up pieces of a golden key. You got to choose from 3 characters at the time, which was like a knight, a wizard, and like a snarf character, is how I would describe them. I actually... there was a guy who got a version of this for the Commodore 16+4 off the ground only just a couple of years ago, and Cytronic actually put it out. So that's another little fun fact for our friend there in the comments. Also, a game like Saber Wolf. I mean, this was a massive game of its time. It had detailed graphics. It had fantastic music. I think the only thing I saw it criticized for in magazines back then was the fact that the map was so big, it's actually hard to memorize it. So unless, like myself, all these years later, I still remember my way around Saber Wolf. There was a fantastic version actually done for the GBA, the Game Boy Advance. So that's one very easily emulated, and people might want to check that one out in the comments. But if I can touch on something, and that is, of course, Attic Attack. Obviously, it's connected with Underworld and, of course, Night Law on there. So you've got actually all 3 games on that collection, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And of course, one of my favorites, like I mentioned on the last podcast I was on, RC Pro-Am, the game I had confiscated during a French lesson. On the Game Boy. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I was gaming even then. Yeah, I couldn't leave it alone. So yeah, I mean, that is a fantastic one. Obviously, it's brilliant to see the NES version of Battletoads. Yes, the arcade version is obviously the superior version, but I'm a big NES fan, and there's a lot of nostalgia attached to that for myself personally. So I love to see the NES version on there, not as a hidden game, but one available for everybody, which I think is really important. And just to touch briefly on, of course, Conker's Pocket Tales, I had a fantastic story told to me by a lady in Norway called Diska Oisland recently, who's a very big fan of this game.
Oh yeah,
she has many happy memories of playing this with her, if she's in the chat, many happy memories of playing it with her sister. So she's really looking forward to that game coming to the collection. So one up for you there, Diska.
So yeah, Gunfight, Derek, what's that one like? I've never played or heard of that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good game years ago. I certainly had it at the time. It was like an isometric kind of point of view. And yeah, I mean, you wandered around and in and out of saloons and around the sort of Wild West and all that. And yeah, it was fantastic, especially if, like myself, you're busy watching things like 1883 and 1923 and The Sun and that sort of thing. You're really getting your Wild West boots on at the moment, then yeah, a game like this you will really enjoy. I remember you had to go around and I think you had to like kill some villain in each area or something like that. But yeah, fantastic game, and it had great graphics. I was very into games like The Great Escape at the time and things like that when I wasn't playing text-based adventures. So yeah, I mean, a game like this on there, I think people are going to find a lot of love. Obviously, the games move a little bit slower than in modern day. You know, you're not going to be looking at 60 frames per second or anything like that. But I think there is a lot of fun there. It's not just nostalgia. So yeah, hopefully people really enjoy it.
Yeah. So when the announcement was made, it was just like it said something is coming, and it just had the like the Spectrum sound in it. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll definitely get." Like, so we were like definitely thinking, especially me and Nick. I think Nick in the chat at the time, he was like, "Yeah, it's got to be, obviously it's definitely something to do with Spectrum." But I was not expecting a rare cut. And there's a couple of things like we were saying. I think, where is it? Coswell's Knight is put on here. Rare cart is number 48. We're at number 46. So one of the unknown carts is definitely red. Also, it reverses. It's not a Giga cart, so it is only the 19.99. It's not 20. You're not £25, which is great. And yeah, so I vaguely remember playing Jetpack as a kid. I came into gaming like literally a little way through on the specky. My brother had one. I've still got it in the loft, but I've never really been able to get it working. Don't really have many games for it. So I've got one, but I didn't really play it as much as the NES when that came along. So as soon as this got announced, I managed to play a few of them, get a few of them working, because even the emulators and ROMs trying to get them working is a pain in the backside as well. But one thing I'll say, Jetpack was fantastic. I loved it. Once I got the control working, because I couldn't get it working, but once because I got my controller working, it was brilliant. I really, really quick action fun, nothing too serious. Get all the bits down. As soon as you get them bits down, you then got to get the fuel for the spaceship, which was otherwise brilliant. And the mechanic, as you were saying earlier, I had a quick go on that one. Fantastic. Getting to play different. I wanted to be the knight. Like you said, going around trying to find parts of the key. They were a lot better. They held up a lot better than I thought they were going to. And then I didn't play Cobra Triangle Face. I played Conker's Pocket Tales. So obviously I knew about this. I never played it though. It was a Game Boy Color game at the time. I had a look into it, and that costs boxed about £25-30. If the box is mint, you're looking at over £100. So the fact that you'll pay that game on its own, boxed on eBay at the minute, is about £25-30 in a rough shape. So the fact is, just to buy that game, you can get this whole collection anyway. So it had a quick go on Conker's Tales, and it was a lot better than I thought it would be. It uses select button as well to go through on patches that ground you go under, and dig under, and come out the other way. But because it's before he was like a foul mouthed, like it says on it, before Conker got a potty mouth, he had his birthday ruined by the evil acorn. You still expected him, because he's got his name as Conker, you still expect him to be like this mouthy little like squirrel, and he isn't, which I thought was a bit odd. And Battletoads Arcade, fantastic. I cannot wait to play this on the alpha. I think that's where it's going to shine. So yeah, for me, this is day one, and it is a big shock, because I know like things was getting ruined. As soon as I saw that there was an announcement, I just stayed out of any groups, stayed out of anything. I just wanted to find out the right way, not read a little message to say, oh yeah, by the way, there's a rare cut, because I know it got leaked again, which was frustrating. But no, for me, Sean did say it goes live in September. So pre-orders go live in September, and it's coming out in November. So, yeah, great news. We'll quickly go around the table. What do you reckon the game of the cart will be, the best game on this cart? So we'll start with you, Tim. What do you reckon the best game on the cart will be?
Ooh, I think Battletoads for me.
Which one?
The Battletoads console version, not the arcade one.
Okay.
Yeah, console Battletoads. But I think Cobra Triangle is going to be the surprise standout one, though, for a lot of people.
Cobra Triangle Face. That's what's going to be called from now on.
Cobra Triangle Face. Yeah.
Andy, what about you?
I think Battletoads Arcade is probably going to be the most accessible for the masses, whereas a lot of people maybe who aren't around as long as the Spectrum has been around might look at some of those games and see them as quite primitive. There tends to be very few colors, and the animations are a little bit antiquated. I'm really looking forward to them, because my first computer was a Spectrum 48K, and it never worked right. I could never get it working right. And it had this bug in it that if you rewound the tape back to the start, it would crash the machine. So I'd have to take the tape and rewind it in a different tape recorder back to the start, and then start.
No way.
So yeah, it was always problematic, and it never really worked right. So I never really got to give the Spectrum a good run of things. So I'm looking forward to these games.
Yeah.
But definitely,
Derek?
Battletoads Arcade, I reckon, is probably going to be the most accessible.
Yeah, Derek.
Well, quite a fun story. I reached out to Blaze to try and find out, knowing RC Pro Am as well as I do. I remember going around the course and collecting up letters that spelt Nintendo. Now, I don't know if Blaze were aware or not, but when it came out on the Xbox replay that Andy was on about, they changed the letters so it spelled champion. If anybody in the comments remembers that.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be rather cool if the letters you collected spell Evercade.
Evercade. Yeah, that'd be
But
phenomenal.
Blaze went deadly silent, and I'm not sure they were aware that perhaps they might have put the version on there where it spells Nintendo. So yeah, hopefully they've got a few months to get that ironed out. That's the trouble when you're dealing with people that don't come from that era, and they're putting games on there that they've really no experience of. So yeah, hopefully they can get that sorted. So I'd like to think so. But yeah, I mean, a great game on there for me. I was a massive isometric fan, so something like Nightlaw, I'm probably going to really, really enjoy. For people as a hidden gem, I think Saberwolf maybe. If people can get to grips with the size of the map, that's what you've got to remember. It was like a huge open world back then. And if
hopefully
you
someone in
get
the
to that
hangout
map,
can do that.
yeah, you'll have an absolutely fantastic time.
Yeah, I'll say, and for me, I think it will be the Battletoads Arcade. I just feel like you can just chunk a load of coins and then keep playing. So yeah, that is Rare Collection 1. So that moves us straight on to the next highlight of the month. What do we reckon the highlight of the month will be? We are 11 days in and still no news on what this the latest update. Probably come tomorrow, no my luck. But if it does, then hopefully one of us has got it right. So yeah, what do we reckon the next highlight of the month could be? So I'll start with you this time, Derek. What do you reckon? Or what would you want it to be?
I reckon it's something coming off of something I would want it to be probably is something off of Pico Interactive Collection 2. I think that would be a really great place for Blaze to go at the moment, especially as while people can still buy it. And yeah, it would highlight some of the games on there and just kind of might get people interested in picking that cartridge up.
Yeah, Tim, what do you reckon it could be?
I was going to go for a Pico one as well, but I was actually looking at Pico Interactive Collection 4, and possibly something like Glover on there, because I don't think
Look at that.
Glover's one of those games where people probably recognise it. It's not. I don't think it's as big as a lot of games from that era. It's one of the first N64 games we've managed to get on the Evercade. I think it stands out, but I don't know how many people have played it. So it'd be good to get that game in front of people and see if they then would be interested in getting the full cart. Because there's some other good ones on there as well. It's got like Street Racer, it's got Star X, things like that. So it's a good cart. I think that might entice some people with a bit of a tease of Glover.
Yeah, Andy, what do you reckon it can be?
I'm trying to think what we've had so far this year. We had Midnight Resistance, didn't we? The red cart one. We had Worms. We had Alligator Hunt, Zool. So we haven't had a blue cart game yet as highlight of the month. I'm going to stick my neck out and I'm going to say something from Delphine. Because Delphine have become very active. Generation Delphine on social media have become very active of late, giving away soundtracks and all sorts of everything of their games. I'm going to stick my neck out and go either Flashback or Another World.
Oh, that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a good shout.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blue cart. And I think, I would love it to be Magic Pockets.
Nice.
But it won't be. I don't reckon it will be.
Ooh,
but I would love it to be for the Bitmap brothers.
I love Magic Pockets.
I remember it's a lot. I remember you saying, Tim, it's like rock hard. It's a lot harder to do than you remember. But yeah, I would love it to. Like, I think we've had too many red carts. Because I was even thinking it could be maybe like Duke Nukem, one or two. But then, like you're saying, that one sold quite well. I think it's mainly for carts that they're either trying to bump sales of or something a bit different. But yeah, be interesting to see what the next highlight of the month be. Let us know in the chat. Let us know what you guys think it could be. Like you're saying, it's got to be any time now. Knowing it'll probably be tomorrow, knowing our luck. But I'll bet it will be out tomorrow. Oh, what's this? On a side note, Magic Pockets Betty Boo is releasing a new album. How is she?
Do you know what really got me about Magic Pockets? They put in so much effort in recreating that Betty Boo song in the intro, and then forgot to put music into the game. And for me, the sound effects in Magic Pockets are just so umphy clunky that it's like oomph, oomph, you know, and you jump and it's kind of oomph. And I often wonder why they didn't put some sort of a soundtrack in the actual game as it's playing.
Oh,
but the Bitmap Brothers did that. Like they did that with Xenon too as well. You actually have to enable the music.
Yeah.
By default, it doesn't play it. I know.
Just to say, they did later on a Magic Pockets version was made for the Mega Drive, and they included both sound effects and music in game, so it can be done on 16-bit. So it was a shame they just didn't do it.
Yeah. I just wonder what it could. It's literally got to be any time now. It's got to be this week, and we get an announcement of what it is, and you can download now. Probably be after the show's gone. Right. So we are now 8 months into the year. What do you think the next? What do you think from what's been announced could be the cart of the year? I done this little demographic picture up the other week. I'm missing obviously the rare cart on there. These are the ones that are coming out this year, already out. When you look at it, them games that are coming, it does look like it will be a strong year. So yeah, we'll go with whoever wants to chime in first. It doesn't really matter. Who would you reckon it will be?
It's quite a tough one. I'm a bit torn between one of the Neo Geo carts, and it's really hard to pick a favourite out of the three because they've all got quite decent ones on there. But I will actually go with a slightly different option and say the Roadcraft cart.
Yeah.
Although it's a single game, I think that really stands out for me. I mean, that's the kind of thing that got me into the Evercade. It was the indie hero stuff. It was like Mega Cat Studios. I've really liked the Full Void cart. I've really liked Tanglewood and Xenocrisis. And Roadcraft DX I've still not played it yet. It looks brilliant. I've seen some of your playthrough of it. And yeah, I think that for me is probably going to be my personal favourite of the year.
Yeah, Andy, what do you reckon it'll be?
I totally agree with Mr. Triangle Face there. I think Roguecraft DX is the kind of cart that would draw people into the Evercade. That's why they choose to have an Evercade, in that it's a game that is already out. So Thalamus are obviously working really well with Evercade, and it's a game that is already available as an Amiga game. But not only have they taken the game, they've added to it for the Evercade. So it's an experience you can only get on Evercade, the DX version, with the additional features and additional levels. So for me, Roguecraft DX is probably going to be the standout of the year, because it's essentially an exclusive to Evercade. Of the carts released so far, there's only been 6. My choice of the 6 that have been released so far would be Broken Sword Collection. Although it had its problems and it had its detractors, and Broken Sword 1 had a few performance problems, I think it brought something fresh and new that we hadn't seen before with point and click.
And it's a great story as well. People forget, or people who don't know, it's so funny. Some of the jokes.
Anyone who's read the Dan Brown stuff can draw a parallel between the Da Vinci Code and Broken Sword 1, that they're very, very similar story-wise. And I wouldn't be surprised, but Dan Brown maybe played Broken Sword back in the day and got some sort of inspiration, because there are so many similarities between them. And just based on that, I'd advise people, give it a shot. And it's blindingly frustrating in parts because the graphics slow down, and it can be frustrating to work out some of the puzzles, but it's a really rewarding game. And of all the cartridges I own, I'd say it's in the top 3 for the amount of hours I've spent playing it. I'd say I'm upwards of 25 to 30 hours playing that cart at this stage. So of the ones released so far this year, I'd say Broken Sword, but I would say Roguecraft DX will probably be the cart of the year.
Yeah. Derek, what do you reckon? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, have we lost Derek? Or is he just in deep thought?
No, it's all right. Yeah, I'm just listening. That's all right. Yeah, no problem.
So yeah, what would your cart? Would you reckon the cart of the year or so far?
Well, what I usually do to distinguish something like this is look at how many engagements I've had on posts on Twitter. Now, the one that set Twitter alight was 100% rare, 100%. In fact, 1,000,000 to 1.
Oh, wow.
It's not my biggest tweet of the year, far from it, but it certainly generated the most interest out of all the cartridges. So that in itself, and it sparked lots of interest and what people might like to see on collection too, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's certainly told me that's going to be the biggest one of the year. And if anything pulls people into Evercade, it's certainly going to be a bit of rare, because as I say, there were some good games there across many sort of platforms that people remember. So yeah, I can definitely see rare being a really big cart for Blaze. So yeah, whatever. Obviously, I wouldn't be anywhere near that magnitude, having just paid for that license. But nonetheless, though, you don't need it as long as you've got a nice big killer cart. And yeah, rare for me is definitely the biggest one this year. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people looking forward to it. Will it bring people to the platform? I don't know. I've spoken to a lot of people like Xbox owners and things like that, which say they've already had it on Xbox Replay and therefore there's no need. So you never really can tell until the penny actually drops and you see people picking up physical cartridges. But yeah, I hope people do. I hope they drift over. They see how easy it is to play. And also remember, you can't take your Xbox Replay on the move, but you can take your handheld. So, there's a lot to be had from that. Also, you can stick this cartridge in an alpha and use your arcade stick. But also, as I say, it's great for home computers and things like that. So, yeah, I think for everybody, and Rare is definitely for me the real standout this year.
What about the carts that have been released so far? What would you?
Ooh, carts released so far. It's tricky. I'm going to say Atari Arcade. Oh, that's something. I'm not sure how many people actually checked that one out, but it did bring something different. And also, there's plenty of hours to be had on some of those games if you're willing to persevere and get better at them. That's the key. I mean, I myself, I need games which give me lots of hours. I'm going to complete games very quickly. As I say, I only got Hammer Watch a couple of weeks ago, and already I've History Edition. I'm ready to take on the second one. So I need games with lots and lots of hours in. Something like Roguecraft, as you said, is very good, but it's going to take me less than an hour probably to run through that version. I gather there's a Nintendo Switch version though coming, which will be a lot larger. Yeah, so something like that is probably where I want to jump in and have the full experience. As I say, anything that's sort of an hour or less probably isn't so great for me. I need lots of replay value. And I just feel the Atari cartridge has got plenty of games that I can't master in 5 seconds. So especially being a lover of Pac-Man and Galaga and games like that, to have something like those Atari games is absolutely fantastic and lots of replay value.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I would say the same. I would say the same as Andy, like Broken Sword Collection, just because it was like of the ones that have been released so far, because it was just like no one really saw coming. Then you got the mouse support came out of nowhere. I remember, so I kind of get that, and like the way the story is, it's fantastic, and it's got so many jokes, and I just loved it. It's like little, like it's got our sense of humor, if you know what I mean. It's that jokey, like sarcastic-y, quick-witted. It's brilliant. And I've played the Roadcraft Amiga version. I downloaded it and played it before we had them on a couple of months ago. Once it got, I just think it needed to have. I'm just going to share the screen. I think it just needed to have a big box version like this. I think like if you got a limited edition big box version, I think that would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I did hammer them actually. Bag of hats, yeah.
Yeah, you've got worse, haven't you, Derek? I'm sure you've got the big box version, haven't you?
I've got a Rogue 64 one. I haven't got the Amiga one, 64. But I did absolutely hammer them. I really did, and said to them, you know, guys, you really should have battled with Blaze and made sure we got a special edition version with the big box. They don't go ace. Obviously, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just think there was a lot of lost sales there, and a really missed marketing opportunity to get that big box out there. I would have loved it to get that case inside of the Amiga box with perhaps a map and some other goodies. I just think that would have been so magical and such an experience for people like myself who really, really love that sort of thing. You know, I don't just want to pick up special editions on Nintendo Switch. I want to pick them up on Evercade. I want Blaze to do their job and give me great things. But yeah, as I say, I fought for us. I mentioned this time and again. I felt it was a missed opportunity. But as I say, they're happy with how it's come out. They're happy with their artwork on the case and the game overall. And obviously, we're grateful it's come. But yeah, I do feel that big box really was something I was absolutely desperate for.
Talamus are amazing at big box games. I don't know if they released a Hunter's Moon big box as well, and it's full of swag. It has the game on a cartridge, on a C64 cartridge, and it has pins and badges and all sorts of everything, and they're great at, nearly as good as you guys when it comes to t-shirts. They have all sorts of merch and t-shirts and mugs and all sorts of everything. So it would have been great had Blaze partnered with them to include some stuff like that in a bigger box version, a limited edition, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that's just what it's missing. If it had that, I reckon it would have been like probably game. It is a fantastic game. But for me, it's got to be one of them. It's got to be one of them Neo Geo Collection 1 or 2. 3's not as strong. I've played all the games through on all of them. I think 1 is very strong. But someone said this in the Hangout the other day. I think I saw it on there, and it was, do you think by getting the Neo Geo SP out before, has it taken some of the shine off these games? I know that some of them are different, but I do think that maybe you should have dropped Collection 1 and the SP at the same time. Like maybe that would have taken a bit more shine of it, but the actual games themselves are fantastic. But, oh mate, yeah, a green cut, that would have been fantastic. Like if you could got that. But yeah, for me, I reckon Neo Geo maybe 1 or 2.
What I would say about the Neo Geo Super Pocket and the Neo Geo carts is there's less crossover than you have on other ones. So like the Taito carts are very similar to the games on the Taito Super Pocket, and the same can be said for the Data East Super Pocket with Data East carts. So at least there isn't as much crossover, because if you have a Taito Super Pocket, there's not much incentive to go out and buy 2 extra carts that have the same games, unless you want to play them on your Alpha or something like that. But yeah, there isn't as much crossover, so there's still a reason to buy those carts.
But the games, that's the thing though, them games that are on that SP, I would love to have them on a cart so I can play them on my Alpha and on my big screen, because they are fantastic. And guys, I have said after playing them, I was like, I did out of all the SPs, I think that is the one to get. Like if you don't have a Super Pocket, the Neo Geo one is by far, for me personally, the best one you can get. It is fantastic.
Do you know what they could do next year? Is they could bring out a USB to cart adapter, right? Where you can plug your Super Pocket into a dummy
And the
cart
HDMI
that
out.
can then be plugged into your Versus or your Alpha and play all your Super Pocket games. That'd be cool.
Well, didn't they do that on the GameCube with the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I had it. It was like a cable that you could like click into the top of you.
I hope you still have it because they're worth a fortune now.
I've got it. Yeah, I've still
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, of course I have. I wouldn't let that stuff go. All right, so we've just been talking a bit about Roadcraft and Neo Geo. It just got me on to. I was recently scrolling through, and you're seeing a lot of YouTubers that are getting access to the early game, like the games already. So I done a Facebook poll. So if you aren't a member already, you must be if you're watching this. I'm just going to see if I can highlight this. But get yourself in the Evercade Hangout on Facebook. It's run by rest in peace Ryan. I'm just gonna post that link into the chat. So, and it will be in the link in the description. And if you are listening to this on your podcast, go and find it on Facebook. Yeah, I just feel sometimes like I just wanted a bit of a conversation starter, and I at first I put it in our group, and then I put by accident. But I thought, you know what, I'll leave it in there. But I put it in the main Facebook Evercade Hangout, and it's already had about nearly 60 votes, and they've done that this morning. And I asked, with the latest carts getting in the hands of YouTubers early, I want to know what true Evercade fans could answer me. Do you trust the reviews from YouTubers who get products free before release? And I had yes, somewhat, no, I prefer flan, as we always do. So 13% said yes, they do. That's quite low. So 13%.
Yeah, that's quite low,
yes.
isn't it?
6% said I prefer flan. 37% said no, and 44% said somewhat. So yeah, so I think like your big YouTubers, like your a lot of people have put in there. They'll only if it's Crazy Burger. A few people have said other than the Duke Nukem collections that aren't new, a video can be next day after a showcase of reading them, just using emulation. And also, is it? What else have got on here? I never watch YouTubers. Maybe the occasional player, but very, yeah. So not as many as I thought. A lot of people, yeah, I do, and I don't. I only trust Crazy Burger, for instance. Only if it's burger. That's a difficult question because Spectrum and Commodore games don't appeal for the American audience as much as 8-bit console games do. Personally, I see this with Evercade. Anything, not just Evercade, depends on the source sometimes. Generally speaking, no, but I do watch video games reviews for footage new to me or not prior opinions. So I just wanted to just wanted to put it out there. So if you see Evercade as like people getting these games that don't actually have any Evercade products on their channels, and then by the way they're putting stuff out, like I'll just say my personal opinion. I don't feel like it. Unless I feel if you've been given it free before release, and you've got to either disclaimer that, because there's a guy who's at Retro Game Corps, he will say, look, I've got this, I've got that. These are thoughts of my own. They are not seeing this before I post this video. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like he's been told you can't say this, you can't say that, and then he'll say what he is, and he's still getting sent stuff. And yeah, so for me, it's like I get it. They want to get their games out into like different markets. You want to get things seen. Like for me, I've seen them all. I haven't looked at any stuff because obviously I want to open them carts myself and have a look and do it myself rather than look at somebody else doing it. So yeah, what were your guys' thoughts, Tim? What were yours? What was your thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think for the most part, people will just be honest with their reviews. So I think if you're a small channel that doesn't really get sent very much stuff, and all of a sudden you get sent like a free game or something, you're going to want to kind of be honest with your fan base to build up a reputation for like giving honest reviews. And if you're a really big channel, gets sent free stuff all the time, then you probably don't worry too much about buttering up the publisher sending you free stuff because you're going to get lots of free stuff anyway. I don't think there's any real benefit to the YouTuber to just say everything's good. Do you know what I mean? Because if they just always say that everything is great and are gushing over everything, then people just kind of start to think, well, I'm not going to trust their reviews because they just love everything. I think that's a tricky thing as well, because as a gamer, I do tend to like a lot of stuff, so I'm quite easy to please. So there'll be like a all right card, but oh yeah, it's really good. And it reminds me of we had an interview a while back with a chap called it was Ben Biggs, and he was a journalist for, I think it was Future Publishing and Edge magazine, and he said about he was doing a review for BioShock, and they set him up in a hotel and they gave him access to this game, and he played the game solidly for like a few days in this all, expenses paid hotel, and had this great experience playing it. And he gave it like 10 out of 10. And he didn't come to take a step back and think, actually, is that my bias? Because not only am I liking the game, but I'm playing in this really nice circumstances. I'm getting treated to free food. It's like, am I like being biased here because of how I've got it for free and all this sort of stuff? And then he said, when all the other reviews came out, everyone else loved it. It was like, oh, thank goodness, everyone else loves the game as well. So there's got to be a little level of bias, I think, there. If you be like, oh, I've been given something free, you probably thought, oh, that was really nice of them to give it to me free, so I should probably give them a nice review. There's a little bit of that can be trusted just to give their honest opinions. Like I said, I don't watch a lot, but I agree with a lot of the comments saying Crazy Burger's a good person to listen to. Although he has made me drop money on multiple things after watching his videos. So whenever he makes a video, I'm like, oh, that looks good, I might get one of those. So perhaps I shouldn't watch his reviews too much because it'll burn a hole in my wallet.
I think a subtle
Andy, what do you think?
A subtle difference between maybe Crazy Burger and some of the other reviewers online is that Crazy Burger only started getting stuff sent to him for free relatively recently. Like up until then, he went and bought the stuff. So he was putting his own money in his pocket and buying these carts and these machines and reviewing them as a consumer, whereas other people weren't. And I think Crazy Burger kind of still has the same view he had then, that if I was buying these, are they actually worth it? Whereas some of the others possibly not. And I think it's quite important. Like, I don't actually buy a lot of the carts I have. They're bought for me for whatever occasion that my wife or my kids buy me a cart or whatever. And they know nothing about these games. So they're the ones that are going online and looking at YouTube and looking at reviews and seeing what they should or shouldn't get me. So, it is a very valid question, because some of these people are reviewing carts and, a lot of them are professional reviewers and they only have a certain amount of time to spend on this cart. And you don't actually know, have they played through any of the games? They may have played them for like 2 minutes each and said, do I feel it's an okay game? They don't really give it a good run. So it is a very valid question. And certainly some of the more recognized reviewers online, I question, are they actually reviewing them properly? Because you kind of see them playing through the games and they don't really give them much of a go. And it's like, oh, that's rubbish. But you haven't really played it through. You haven't really given it a chance. So I find with Crazy Burger, he does a review of the games before they're released. So he'll go and get them and run them through an emulator and see what's going to come up in the cart. And then when it does get released, he'll do a review of the cart as it actually is in release form. So I think he was the one who highlighted the problem with Broken Sword and the speed of the graphics, that there was nearly in double speed until it was patched by Blaze. And I don't think any of the other reviewers highlighted that. So definitely I'd be going towards, I think Gene Joke is amazing as well. And I enjoy watching he's going through every game at the moment. And really
he's ranking every game.
Ranking every game, and that's brilliant as well. And there's another reviewer, A Boy and His Dog. Have we watched that? And that's really good as well. And it seems like that's a genuine review where someone is genuinely playing the games for a long period of time and giving a proper opinion of them.
Yeah. So Derek, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a topic I think divides people. As I say, everybody and things like that. The only reviews I would ever consider watching personally myself are where you have actually put your hand in your pocket. The minute you get it free, you are open to corruption. Trust me, it happens. I've been on both sides of the coin, so I know exactly how it works. It's like turning around and telling everybody wrestling's real. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Is we're trying to tell people wrestling's real. Okay, it's not. The minute you are receiving things like MPs have backhanders and things like that, you are open to corruption. And it doesn't matter who you are, you're not immune from it. I can tell you, you're not immune from it. If people shower you with enough stuff, or they come to you, I purchased the game recently on pre-order. I was very excited about it. It wasn't very long before the company said to me, well, would you like to upgrade to the deluxe version? We'll do that free if you'll do us lots of chatting about it and whatnot. Yeah. Now, what would that do to me? It would make me not give an honest opinion, because I'm going to think, well, they're quite a large company. They might send me other games. So I'm going to be minimal in what I'm prepared to pick on it. Exactly. So I wouldn't take the offer. But a lot of people would, because they just think, well, if I get the deluxe version, I can sell that off afterwards and I can make myself a few quid. The truth of the matter is, the minute you're accepting it for free, you're open to corruption. As Andy said, he'd already played them on emulator. So why did he need them free? Exactly. Yeah. So at the end of the day, any reviews like that are just null and void to me. They don't mean anything. But if you put your hand in your pocket and you've got a YouTube channel, I'd love to see it, because I want to see genuine reviews. I want to see them by people who actually care and people that are prepared to I love. But yeah, as I say, if we handed it all out for free, how long would Blaze last?
Yeah.
It's
like
very long. At this stage, I don't think Blaze need it. I don't think it's going to twist people's arm to suddenly come to Evercade. What are you going to sell? An extra 3 cartridges? Oh, whoopie-doo. Yeah, it's not going to do big numbers. Yeah. People like Nintendo are extremely picky about what they will send out, what levels you can show, and all sorts of stuff like that. But the end of the day, they don't do it very often because they don't need to. It's going to shift units. And for Blaze, I think that the main thing to do is to try and unite the community, divide it. And at the moment, as you say, it's quite a debate, and I feel that perhaps Blaze is dividing the community. But as I say, it's only my opinion. And in the comment section, if you've got different ones, let me know.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Derek. If you've got this product for free, I ain't watching it. I don't care what you say, how you've done it, how in depth you get. Couldn't care less. If they've come and gone, here's the product, it means nothing. Like I do reviews on the carts when they get announced. I'll emulate them, I'll play them. If it's crap, I'll tell you it's crap. I couldn't care if it's upsetting anyone. I couldn't care if it then means that people aren't going to come on our channel, because it has done this in the past. We've got stuff, not liked it, told it as it is, and this is why certain people won't come on our channel. And see you later then. I couldn't care less. It's, for me personally, like you said, we've had people contact us, and guess what? We give it all away for free. Why do you think you get Evercade carts that are given away? It's because we then gave them away when we got given a load. Why do you think you get Steam codes when we get developers on? Because we give it away for free. Like, we want you guys playing it. It is a touchy subject. Someone else in my other group said that he was on the other side of this. So kind of thought like his opinion mattered more because he's been on the other side, and I'll stick to my opinion. Well, you can stick to your opinion. I couldn't care. Like, I'm not trying to change your opinion. I just wanted to know, like, how do you see it? Like, and I was saying, like, we were contacted the other week, and it was like and it was like they were trying to buy us. I bet it was, and then when we'd done a bit more digging, they hadn't got anything ready anyway. So I thought, well, you don't have any way of us. I can't interview you about a game on screenshots. So it was like, unless you've like got some substance that like we can all play, give a couple away for free, let other people actually get involved on this. This isn't anything to do with it. Okay, this is like another game thing. And I was like, no, sorry, there's no point, is there? So yeah, it was a talking point. I wanted to get it out there. I'm glad that we've got loads of different opinions on it, and people fought for other people to get it free, but you're getting it for free. You're under the rug. You can't then say if you really didn't like something and you come out and absolutely slagged it, like unless you, and for me, like I said, unless you put like a little disclaimer just going, oh yeah, by the way, got this for free. These are my original thoughts. Like Retro Game Corps does. Yeah, that's my personal opinion anyway.
I just wanted to add one last final thought on that before we move on, is that I think what the points Derek making as well about how once you've got that, once you've opened Pandora's box, you're open to corruption. And I think that for a lot of people as well, that's going to even be subconscious. You won't even realize you're doing it. It's because you've been given it for free. You're getting that little bit of attention. You think, well, actually, they've done something nice for me. I'm going to give it. You've got a little bit of pressure to give a nice review and be positive. Yeah. And then it builds from there. So sometimes it's not necessarily intentional, like, right, I'm going to try and get as much free stuff as I can by giving everything a great review. But it is a bit subconscious bias, I think, then as well. So, yeah.
And anything from anyone before we move on quick?
No, I think they're great points there. And, I can see sense in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's not like anything bad.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It doesn't make mine any better than anybody else.
Exactly. It's just like you're seeing people getting these products, and you don't actually have any evidence.
And if you're happy with those YouTubers and that's your thing,
crack on. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to watch Blunders. I like to see his reviews. Yeah, but at the same time, if you enjoy, I don't know, Metal Jesus or John Hancock or John Rigg or whatever, if that's your go-to, then go to it and enjoy them, and that's what matters. If it works for you, that because they've said it's a great game, you're going to buy it, then great. I mean, I'm very tight on pre-orders. I've got a hell of a lot of games I want to play every year, so I've got to really watch what I'm buying, and at the same time, I mean, I go with my own opinions most of the time. If it strikes me as a game I'm going to play and I'm going to sink a lot of hours into, that's what matters to me.
I'm the alpha.
YouTube has said, "Oh yeah, this is an amazing game. Buy it because my grand sunk 50 hours into it." I couldn't care less.
Blunners, I see that you've been giving CEX a lot of coverage. They haven't tried to corrupt you yet, have they?
Yeah, no, mate. No, it's costing me a bloody fortune trying to fix that bloody thing.
My CEX by the end of the year.
Yeah. So I'll have that on the back of my shirt soon. But no, mine was the alpha. So I really wanted to play it, and I was having a look when I was looking around trying to see what it looked like. I'd done a video on just how it looked because I wanted to see and I couldn't find anyone who was genuine. It was all like, oh yeah, look, here's my arcade version. Oh, here's the limited edition box. And I was like, you don't even know what you're talking about, mate. It's like, I want to see how it plays. And it wasn't until, like I said, the other week, I took it to Tim and that to see it. Until you physically see it in front of you, that's when you're like, oh shit, this is actually really good. So this is why I think these events and stuff they go to, if we had a bit of a presence, like I said, I'm more than happy. I'll take my alpha. We were playing the VS when we done the donut stuff. So we're trying to, I'm getting people to see it firsthand. I think, what is it, Tim? When you saw it, you were like, okay, yeah, this is actually a great bit of kit. Yeah. It wasn't until you actually physically saw it in the flesh. Did that change your mind on it?
It was really weird. I couldn't quite grasp what size it was until I'd seen it. I'd seen pictures of it and I've seen descriptions of the size and things like that. So I knew how big it was, but I couldn't quite comprehend how big it was until I'd actually seen it. I was like, okay, no, this is a decent size.
Do you know what I'm really surprised about with the alpha is, as far as videos and online stuff, is that we haven't seen any modding videos yet. Well, not too many. Where people have modded them. And
so all I've seen, I don't know if it's in Discord or if it was in the Hangout, and it was someone had put two proper they put two say electric scooter batteries but they put rechargeable batteries in the back of it to get it to then be portable, which is fantastic because that's the only thing that annoys me is that I have to find the bloody cable and then wheel that cable around, whereas if I could just plonk it on the side of my table, plonk it anywhere without having to then go looking for wires to plug in, it would make it more accessible. But
I don't have
Right
one
on.
because if I brought it home, I think my wife would probably divorce me. But I don't know. Like, is there a major difference between the buttons on the deluxe and the standard?
I think, yeah, they're just the Sanwa edition. Like, I upgraded. I've got the Sanwa edition in the 8-bit Dell arcade stick I bought myself, and I bought the Sanwa myself and upgraded and done a video on how I done it all. Piece of
Right.
piss to do. And to be honest, you could probably pick one up for about 10 or 15 quid. If you really wanted to, you could quite easily take the alpha apart, but it's not like a noticeable difference. It's like the clicking, and you can feel it sets in better. I think you'd need that for the Street Fighter one, to be honest.
The divorce would probably cost me more than 10 or 15 quid, I'm afraid.
That's the thing. Like my missus, I thought, oh, she's going to hate this, but the fact is, it's got pride of place in the front room, so I must be doing something right. So, right, I'll move us on. Love the Facebook poll. Lots of people talking. I'll try and get another one in for every time we do this show now. Let's get it in the hangout, because that is where, like, you are not going to get any bias in there, and that's what I want the true people want, what you guys think. That moves us on to Dear Derek. So get your questions in the chat. I know Tim has been starring a few. So without further ado, I'll run VT.
Do you have a question? Well, now's your chance. It's time to ask Derek.
Right, so it is that part of the show. We're near the end. It is time to Dear Derek. So Tim, fire us up with these first lot of questions. So Tales from the Jungle and Waste. Dear Derek, still a chance we may eventually be offered a vanilla alpha with plain Evercade markings or marquee. What, an alpha R, minus R, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, again, Blaze are aware that that's something people would like, that, it doesn't have any markings on. So, yeah, who knows down the line, I think the next one's perhaps a themed one, if there is one at all. But yes, it's, Blaze are aware, just like they were with the Versus, if you remember. It's now come out with no cartridge, and that was something I could see was very important to people. You don't want 2 copies of Tomb Raider if you're buying an EXP and and the EXPR. So very, very important. And you can add a cartridge now that's you really want to play, because you might not be a fan of Tomb Raider, or like myself, you might already own them multiple ways. So obviously, to have a different cartridge means a lot more.
Yeah. A big shout out to Sems. He's done 5 memberships. I just wanted to give a good shout out to Sems. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
As we say in Polish, kocham, innit? That means I love you. Someone taught me that. So, dear Derek, we've almost achieved the golden era arcade Nevada. What is with the Taito collections upcoming, and Tangle possibly of Namco Arcades around the corner? What's the chance of Midway/Williams?
Well, those games aren't off the cards. I mean, Warner Brothers have got them. You've just got to come up with the cash. Are they easy to deal with, Warner Brothers? Not really. But as I say, if you've got the checkbook open and you're happy to sign on the dotted line, then anything's achievable. Obviously, as long as you're taking off the table some of those dual license games necessary. It's not to say RoboCop's impossible, but it is a dual license game and things like that. But yeah, obviously, Midway did have a lot of great games, but also a lot of hidden gems. A lot of people didn't necessarily play the game Narc and things like that. So it'd be nice to have those kind of multiplayer games on there. So yeah, I would love to see a Midway Williams collection. And Blaze know that it's certainly in people's, I would say, top 3 arcade collections.
Mate, Midway, and that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? What game would you want on a Midway collection? I love doing this, just like John piggybacking on his question here.
Crash TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say Crash TV. Yeah. What about you, Derek? What would you have on there? No, I don't know if you can hear me.
Things like Smash TV, I did play extensively years ago. Both on the home computer, and I played it in the arcade. So yeah, a game like that would be absolutely
Be great, wouldn't it?
Absolutely fantastic.
I think
because people love in Xenocrisis, I think they would love that.
Derek mentioned Narc there. Was that a movie tie-in? I think I remember a movie, Narc, that came out around the same time. I don't know whether it was tied in with the game or not. But
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Don't know.
No, I don't think so. No, it's a standalone game.
All right. Tim, you got our next question up?
Yeah.
Maybe Kart 47 will be a giga kart with some Rare's N64 games. 7 Force 1. I think, well, personally, I think anything Rare will be on a collection too. And don't forget, Glover, they had to remap and redo just to get that to run. So I'm not sure if 64-bit, I know N64 stuff was an absolute ball ache to get running on it on emulation.
I think the thing that does actually debunk that is the fact that the one that's been announced is Collection 1. So they're not going to have a lower numbered cart with Collection 2. But then on the same sort of topic, got the new Terminator 2D game been delayed. Could this be linked? The amounts of mysterious Kart 47.
Oof. That, to be honest, if that gets announced, that is a massive announcement because it's a brand new game and they have said they're coming to consoles. I don't know if Evercade's on their to-do list like yet. That might be maybe next year. Fingers crossed, because they have done stuff with them in the past.
You'd have to expect that the carts that are coming out as close as October, November are already prototyped and ready for
they'll be done. He said like
so I doubt that cart is going to be a Terminator 2D or was ever planned to be.
Right.
So, dear Derek, could we see a blank cartridge / dummy cart for the EXP, black, LE, and white standard, EXP minus R, and EXP solo, like the Super Buckets have?
Again, it's something Blaze are aware of. I'm surprised that they just haven't cracked on and done it yet. It's easy money. It's so easy now to people. They really, really need to step on it and make it happen, because people are asking all the time, every day, for this, and it's so simple that it baffles me. Why they haven't. They're obviously making enough money without having to do it, I suppose. But yeah, any regular company would see this hole in the market and fill it.
Yeah, because I got that's one thing you notice is coming from an SP that has that cover at the back. That's one thing. I always have a cart in there just because I don't like having a big gap. Like I took Indie Heroes. I think it was 3 or 4 out when we went up to. No, and I didn't like the fact that I then had a gaping hole in the back of my XP. I was like, what the hell? But from having an app called Bamboo Handy, because I've got a 3D printer, I can just print. There is actually someone's done it on there. They've actually got an EXP cart that you can print yourself. So I might try that tonight. I haven't actually done it yet, but I might try it and see, and then let everyone know what it's like. Does it actually fit? Is it a correct link print kind of thing? So
just
interesting.
A little hint: if anyone has a brick cart that no longer lives and doesn't work, and it's white, and you have a white EXP, you can print out like a decal, a Capcom decal, stick it to your brick cart, and use that, and then it looks very tidy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Question for Andy: do you think EverSD will be able to hack the alpha, as we are the EverSD man?
That's a great question, and I suppose
get my pod pulled down though, mate.
It's along the same lines as will EverSD ever be able to hack the VSR or the EXP or the XPR? That's all down to the person who develops it. Personally, I think that it's beyond time that Blaze actually engage with EverSD and use them as a mechanism to problem solve some of the issues with brick carts, with maybe software recovery. And if the two of them work together, then maybe they would be able to solve some of the problems with brick carts. And rather than see Everesty as the enemy, try and embrace it and work that way. I think the software has been locked down, but I mean, software is always hackable. There's always some way of hacking it. So down the road, who knows?
Yeah. Is 2025 the best year in Evercade kart history? Thoughts?
No. No.
Not for me. The Duke Nukem year was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a tough.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what these last two karts are. Do you know what I mean? If they are,
I mean, it's
The
been a
run-
good year. I wouldn't say it's been the best. We have had some, like I say, yeah, that Duke Nukem year was a good year for Evercade.
I'll just say another thing about that Duke Nukem year. That was the end of 23. And the run up to Christmas in 23 for Evercade was epic.
do you know what?
Absolutely epic. You had
I'm trying to think what was out.
Mm.
Let's have a look.
God.
you
I know.
Demons of
Jesus.
Asteberg and Astabros.
Oh yeah,
Demons of
Good Boy
Asteberg, yeah.
Galaxy.
Good Boy Galaxy.
Good Boy
yeah.
Galaxy. And
Yeah.
to this day, Evercade is the only
Witch and
place
Whiz.
you can buy that physically. Witch and Whiz, yeah. You
Full
the
Void.
2 Duke Nukem. You had the
Delphine.
Atomic Edition VS. You had, oh my God, it was just brilliant.
Team 17 that year as well, and that broke in the top 40, didn't it?
Yes, it was summer that year.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it might have been.
Indie, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of June, July that year, and then Delphine was around the same time, as far as I'm aware.
Pico
so,
Arcade
yeah.
1, Sunsoft Collection 1. I think it was Pico Collection 3 and C64 Collection 2, I think. Well, yeah, that year's, you can't, to be honest, you can't beat that, can you really? Look at that. Nah, not beating that year.
Before we move on to the next one, just do a quick shout out to thank Morley Bruxon for gifting another 5 memberships.
Wow, thank you, Morley. That is fantastic, mate. We've got to be doing, we'll be doing a members only giveaway soon as well, just for you guys. So, dear Derek, with so many Neo Geo carts coming out at nearly the same time, is there a chance of a secret game when 2 are plugged in? Ooh. Don't know if you're allowed to say anything like that.
There you go.
Got to,
How's that?
Yes.
You hear it here first.
So yeah, what the combination is,
But-
you'll have to work out. But
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have fun and announce it in the hangout. Who's going to be the first person? Hey, and
I
if,
reckon
if
you
so,
got-
I might even come up with a special giveaway.
I reckon Andy will have his, what was that thing you were saying earlier with the GBA connection? Like, yeah, that gives you an
Yeah.
extra game.
Well,
Gives
you
you
see,
another
I think
metal slug.
the special thing about these 3 carts is there's how many combinations there, so you can have the first and the second one together, the second and the third one
second and
together,
first,
and the first and the third one together.
Yeah.
So you could have 3 bonus games there.
Potentially. Exciting.
And dear Derek, any chance we could see Union 2 Amiga, which was published by Renegade Software? Oof.
Oh, I'd love Uridium 2. I'm a massive Uridium fan. So, yeah, the second one would be fantastic. Even if Blade were prepared to go ahead and try and get hold of the Game Boy Advance version that wasn't quite finished. I mean, I would love them to finish that and get it out there. That would be another really brilliant project. That, games that weren't kind of things. That would be fantastic. So, yeah, I would love Uridium 2. So, yeah, if they can deliver that, I'll be all over that. Definitely.
Am I right in saying that that Sensible Soccer was Renegade as well? Some of the Sensible Software stuff was Renegade, published by Renegade. And I wonder who now owns all that Renegade stuff. Is it all at EA? I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure now. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
So we've gone over. Sorry, I just like talking. So that is episode 64 in the bag. The usual stuff that Ollie's great at doing, the wrap up. So my name's Blunners, part of the Total Evercade Podcast. We've got Andy C. Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me in the Hangout all the time. Yeah.
See him in the
So,
hangout at all times.
Pestering
Also-
people, annoying people, yeah.
Yeah, Derek, where can we find you?
Yep, I'm on Blue Sky or on X. So yeah, also I do come and frequent the Hangout, so I do see if anybody raises concerns and things like that, or if they've got an issue or whatever, or as I say, at the moment I've put some factory seals in there to purchase, trying to help people out really that are just coming into that ecosystem, or perhaps they're missing that cartridge, and just kind of really help out. And if it goes well, then I'll look into more stuff in the future, like consoles and all sorts of accessories and things like that, just to make sure it's somewhere that when places run out of stock, I'm still in stock. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, do come and join me. And as I say, every opinion is welcome. It's not just all about me. It's all about you. It's you that make it. Yeah. So if you're not enjoying something, or you're struggling with a game or anything like that, let me know, and perhaps I can help. Or as I say, perhaps you can help me to see the love in games that sometimes I can't. So see you there.
So yes, so we are back next Monday with a ModCons, aren't we, Tim? Talking all things modern games. We've also got to fit in another Steam Deck podcast where we can go through some of the games coming out, and then our friend is actually releasing a game, so we want to get him on to talk about it. And that is it from us. You find me and Triangle Face over in the Facebook in our own Facebook group, the Total Video Gamers Facebook group. Ryan Lutley's just come up. Ryan's obviously in the chat. Rest in peace. So yeah, if you're not in the Hangout, I've put a link in earlier.
The ghost of Ryan in the chat.
In the description. Yeah, the ghost of Ryan. We'll call him. Funny that we haven't had any of them in a while, have we? But yeah, that is episode 64. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.